Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk. But if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock fans, to Season 2 of Before the Bid podcast, and there is not too many guys that I would rather have on this first podcast, a repeat, and I am very, very excited to talk to this guy again. We did one for the bull sale, and now they also have a female sale that they've had going on. That this is going to be the fourth female sale, and the sale is going to be held on Saturday, September 5th, of course, 2020, and it is going to be at 2 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time, and it's going to be held at Crown Point, Indiana. Again, talking to a second-generation cattleman, a Packer fan, and he is head of the genetics and herd development at Linz Heritage Angus and has been for 5 years. And before that, he was up in Wisconsin for 11 years at Riley Brothers and did a lot of great work up there before he came to Linz Heritage Angus. And again, I want to welcome back to the podcast a good friend of mine and a great guy, Mr. Glen Davis. And Glen, things growing and things going well up in Crown Point, Indiana, and a lot of things happening there at Linz Heritage Angus, correct?
Yes, things have been very exciting. Even in this very odd year, things have been really smoking along and really moving forward. Been a really good year for the cattle part of our business.
And
it's been very good.
Good, and we're going to talk about that here as we get moving along. And Glen, we did it on the last podcast, and again, we don't want to completely repeat that last podcast. People can go back and listen to some of that as well. But I want to give you a chance again, because I think it's always important to introduce family and introduce the people that are very important to us. So if you would, I want to give you a minute to introduce the family and tell us a little bit about those family members do to help you guys.
You bet. Of course, my wife, she pretty much takes care of everything. My wife, Sarah, she's an advisor for Indiana, one of the better advisors I've ever met for the juniors.
Absolutely agree.
She does a fabulous job with that. My daughter, Taylor, and my daughter, Melanie, and my daughter, Lacey, they all live in Wisconsin. Mel and Lacey are married to two great husbands, Andy and Chad. Chad, of course, runs Riley Brothers in Wisconsin. My middle daughter, Taylor, is still not married, but she has a very steady boyfriend, and she has a great job. She's a new homeowner. We're very excited about that.
Can I interrupt you just a second? I remember on the spring one that you said she was still single. Now, did somebody listen to the podcast and hit you up and hooked up with Taylor?
I'm not sure if he listened to the podcast. I'm not sure if he listened, but... Oh. But she's got one in the wings now,
okay.
So we're all happy for her for that. And then, of course, a lot of my youngest daughter and son, Brooke and Trevin, they are still going to Lowell High School. They both help a great deal. Trev helps a great deal on the farm. Brooke, of course, does a lot of the showing and is very involved and active in the Angus industry. And so we're real excited. I mean, my last two kids may both end up, on the farm with me. So excited about that. That's always good news. And of course, like I said, my son-in-law Chad is already, managing a big herd. So we're definitely an Angus family. There's no question.
That's great. I remember Trevin. I remember seeing you guys out in Oklahoma, and you and I, with the new schedule, were kind of on passing days there, and you and I got to talk for about 10 minutes, and you were getting shoved out the fairgrounds because Trevin had to get to an event. Did you guys make it there, and did he come home with anything really new and cool?
Yes, my son is an avid gun collector, and we went to a gun collection there in Oklahoma. I apologize, I can't remember the name of it, but it was huge. J.M. Davis. My son just helped me out. J.M. Davis. I should be able to remember that. But
right.
It was a huge gun collection, and I mean huge. Took you hours to get through. And he was pretty pumped. I think that made the trip to Tulsa really good for him.
Good.
So yeah, that was a great day. It was a fun way to relax on the way home.
Good deal. Yeah, and you and Sarah, you mentioned that you guys are advisors for the Indiana Junior Angus Association and do a great job, spend a lot of hours doing that, and so I know a lot of the people in Indiana and a lot of the juniors appreciate all the work that you guys do. So, again, just appreciate that. So you work for...
Well, thank you. I'll definitely tell Sarah.
All right. Yeah,
I'll let her know.
Send her our best with that. You work for a guy, Fred Linz. That is a very interesting guy, and has a lot of vision and has a lot of heart and does a lot of things for the industry. If you would, introduce Fred to us and tell us where they started and where we are now with the Linz Heritage Angus.
Well, Fred is a third-generation meat man. I mean, his grandfather had a butcher shop. That's where it all began, in Chicago back in the glory days. Big butcher shop. His dad, of course, took it over with Fred, when Fred took it over at a young age. And him and his dad ran it for years. And they just grew and grew and grew. And as butcher shops became less popular, that's when they became, more of a nationwide, meat purveyor. And what really happened, Fred really expanded it. His father and him, they were struggling with the butcher shop, back in the 80s. And Fred would work all day then. They decided to start selling direct to steakhouses, restaurants and other venues. So Fred would cut meat all morning, and I've watched Fred Linz cut meat. So anyone that thinks Fred is a butcher that doesn't know how to cut, they are gravely mistaken. And the man can run a knife, I'll promise you. And so he cut many steaks himself. And so Fred actually basically would cut meat all day. And then him and two other butchers would go to steakhouses, take meat with them, and display their product, and started selling that way. And then here we are, basically 30 years later, Meats by Lenz, worldwide, meat purveyor. So Fred has done a fabulous job. His vision's incredible. I mean, that's how he got into the Angus breed was, he knew we had to be more than just a meat purveyor that was cutting meat and giving a regular product like everyone else. He knew we needed to do something more. And so, like I said, he's a great visionary. He's a tremendous man. Anybody that gets a chance to meet Fred needs to do it. He's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of guy. He's an amazing high-energy man. He's very full of energy and just tough as nails. He's Chicago-born. I'm telling you, folks, he's tough. He may look little, but he's tough. And, he's true blue Chicagoan.
Do you guys go back and forth with the Bears and the Packers? Is he a Bears fan if he's from that close to?
Well, yeah. It's definitely. I'll put it that way. Definitely, he is true blue. Him and Mike Ditka are very good friends.
Right.
And so you can do the math. He's a diehard Bear fan, and of course I'm a diehard Packer fan, and of course game day we've been together a few times, and we get a little brutal.
Right.
With each other. It's a bad day for one of us.
Right.
Put it that way.
Right. And
somebody's going to have a bad day.
Right. And you did mention he's good friends with Ditka, and that is one of the steakhouses that Lenz Meats by Lenz services. Yes.
Yep. One of our best.
Do you know, Glen?
Yep.
Do you know one of the first steakhouses that they ever got into? Has he ever told you that, or maybe that's something we need to ask him
you're asking the wrong guy. Well, I will have to ask Fred that. That's something I've never asked him, but that would be neat to know. The first steakhouse that actually took him on. I really don't know that. I mean, I know all the ones that we have now, or not all of them, but I know a lot of them. And no, I don't really know who I mean, it was all Chicago at first. They never left the city at first.
Okay.
I do know that. So it would be a Chicago steakhouse, but I really don't know which one.
Okay. And now Meats by Linz is shipping, you say, all over the world.
Yes. Yeah. Japan, Russia, Europe, anywhere. I mean, Jamaica, the Caribbeans, all the any place that there's a restaurant, with cruise liners, we do, cruise lines, again, Vegas, anywhere that there is people, which of course right now is a problem, but basically once the world gets back to right, I mean, we all the biggest, resorts, I mean, we hit them all. And, kind of amazing to me, when I first got with Fred, how it was just amazing, the amount of clients that come to see us. These chefs and these owners come from around the world, speaking different languages, and it's just fascinating to take them on a farm tour. Just fascinating how well they listen and how excited they are about American beef. It's just amazing. I love those tours more than any others. Yeah, I really like, the other people from other countries when they come. They're so excited to be in America. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. They love coming to America.
Right.
And that means a lot to me and to Fred.
Right.
So that is really one of the best things about my job.
Right. And before we get too far away, tell us a little about Fred's family, if you would.
Well, Fred has a son. His oldest son, Zach, now is head of operations at the plant. I want to say he's 25. I could be wrong there. I apologize. His next son, Tyler, is just getting his license, so he just turned 16. And his youngest son, Jack, is, I believe, in fourth grade, possibly. Mm-hmm. But that's his sons. Fred has a sister, Lisa. Of course, his mother is still living. His father has passed away I think 3 years ago now, 2 to 3 years ago. His grandfather, of course, has passed. But so Fred is the founding Linz now. His own sons are coming into the business and doing well. I mean, Zach does a fabulous job at the plant. I mean, I don't think it's ever run better. I mean, he does a great job. So it's definitely a family-owned business. Fred's had many offers. I've been with him, when he gets offers, and the man will not sell. It will be a family-run business forever.
That's great. And
which is really kind of cool.
That is great.
I like that.
And he does have a lady that helps him out quite a bit, right?
Yes, Camille.
Right.
Camille is always at his side, and Camille's one of probably, I don't know if she's our best salesman, but I guarantee she's at the top. And she also helps with the farm, and she basically does a little of everything. I mean, she helps with the books. She basically keeps Fred straight, which that takes some doing too.
Right.
And basically just always in the business. I mean, it's hard to think of it without her being there. She's very, she doesn't run the plant, but she knows the integral ins and outs of, everything that we do. Mm-hmm. The farm, same way. I mean, she's got her hand in everything and knows a great deal. That's kind of the way Fred does everything. I mean, everybody's got to pretty much know a little bit about everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Camille and Fred, I mean, they're known very well in the Angus breed already, just because everybody sees them together, all the time.
Right. And
so, they travel together all the time pretty much.
Right. And
she
does
she's
a very
another
nice
big
job.
part of it.
Yeah. Does a very nice job
yes,
of putting on things at the sale and everything is always top notch.
The sale is pretty much her baby as far as anything that is done. I mean, I hate to say this, but of course most people know this. I don't do anything for the sale other than take care of the cattle.
Right.
All the decorations, the entertainment, anything, the food, the RSVP, and the making sure all the books are out. I mean, Camille does it all. She handles everything that way.
Right.
Yeah, she handles that, everything that way, and which has been real good. The other thing on the farm, which are kind of like, sons to Fred now, is the guys that work there. Ben Weiss and Dylan McLean. They're both from Iowa, and both do a tremendous job for the farm. They both basically co-manage the farm. I have pretty much stepped down from the day-to-day, and they run it all. And they do a great job. We've got Deborah works for us also, and then Uncle Dave, which is Fred's uncle. He's not really Fred's uncle, but everyone calls him Uncle Dave. And he's actually Fred's uncle-in-law. But anyway, he does a fabulous job. And we have another guy, Ed Lane, runs our southern farm for us and does a great job. So we've been expanding, and Andy, and we've really got some good help now, where we're really starting to fire on all cylinders.
Great. And I did want to lead into that about expanding. They had a great meat business. Why get into the cow business as well?
Well, Fred's struggle to be different. I mean, for us to be a top-end meat purveyor, you've got to be different than all the rest. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good meat purveyors out there. I mean, there is. I mean, there's a lot of people that take good care of the meat and have a heck of a product. And so you've got to be slightly different. And Fred got this idea. Fred's original animal, he bought a bull called American Made from Riley Brothers when I was up there. He bought him as a kind of a gimmick, more of an advertising thing than anything. He bought it with St. Elmo's and Manny's restaurant out of Minneapolis and St. Elmo's out of Indianapolis. Well, it was kind of a gimmick. They all bought the bull with ABS, and it was more of a advertising thing. And then as Fred got going, he was out in Denver. He just loved the cattle industry. Fred was always a horseman, but so he loves animals. And then he got into the cattle industry, and he was out in Denver with Craig Hughes, the owner of St. Elmo's. And of course, they were having a couple of beers, and Fred said, "You know what?" He goes, "I got this figured out." He said, "I am going to start raising Angus cows. I'm going to start raising the genetics that our steaks are from." And of course, Craig laughed at him, because Craig would laugh at Fred. And then here we are, basically 6 years later, and Fred's dream is coming a reality. And that's kind of how he got into the business. He knew he had to do more. We wanted a more quality, as far as the product, we wanted it, more consistent. That's what Fred's always after, is a very consistent product. And what we've done, by doing our own genetics, we just keep expanding. We have our own steer division, and the more cattle that we can get out of our own genetics, you'd be amazed, the better the steaks are. If that's even possible, they continue to get better. Mm-hmm. And so Fred did the right thing, and by taking this on. It's taken time, you know what I mean? It's not a fast thing. That every rancher or farmer knows it's tough. I mean, it's not been easy. Right. And, we've been fortunate. We have a lot of good friends in the business, and, Fred brought me on for that reason, because I was older, and had a lot of already established, friendships, and that's kind of what it took. And Fred really believes in business. He's a very good businessman. He's taught me an incredible amount about business, and he's learned an incredible amount about cattle, from me, vice versa. So he's, all that knowledge. Fred can speak cows with almost anyone, which you wouldn't believe that, a man as busy as he, but he can actually speak cows. He knows the bulls out there. He knows genetics. He knows the EPDs. He can talk cattle with you now. He is a cattleman. There's no question.
And I want to hit on two things from that short conversation there. You talked about getting your genetics out there and having that consistent product, but you guys can't raise them all to go into that. So you have a buyback program, and we could talk a whole nother podcast about the buyback program. But if you would, just hit on that for just a second.
Well, what we're doing, and the buyback program started about 3.5 years ago, so we're young into it. And we're working on many new things, which again, it'd take me too long to explain them to you.
Right.
Big things for the Angus industry, big things that we're going to push through and give data. We're going to give data to the Angus industry like they've never seen before, and real high quality proven data and that's what we're after. So what we do with the steer deal, we it's just like anybody else that has a steer deal, except the beauty is we have the end product sold already.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an easy choice for us. Now it's been tough the last couple of years because of course the market feeders and fats haven't aligned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a tough run. That's made it harder on us than anything. The quality of the cattle have been there, but the price hasn't been. So it hasn't been a big profit maker, but it's something that we have to do. And like you said, we cannot produce enough of our own genetics, even our own bulls, to satisfy a company as big as ours.
Mm-hmm.
So we're constantly, dealing with other good Angus breeders and doing lots of little things. And we just keep learning on that, Andy. It just keeps getting better.
Right. And the other thing, you guys have grown so large, so fast. Are you still continuing to grow, or what's some of the next steps?
Well, we are. Our original plan was to grow and grow and grow. Fred and I, we talked about it heavily. We grew, and now we're actually shrinking. Not shrinking. We're actually perfecting now. Mm-hmm. We're basically to the size we want to be. I mean, we're approximately 600 registered females at all times, and that's a lot for the state of Indiana.
Right.
And because, of course, everything is small pastures, and so it makes a lot of work. We wear a lot of trailers out, trucks.
Right.
But it makes a lot of work. So what we're doing now is we used to put embryos in commercial cows. Now we slowly, as our cows prove that they're not as good as the others, or their genomics slip, or something happens to the sire, or they get bad feet, or something goes wrong, we make them a reset. So soon our goal is to have our herd be 100% registered. And whether they're carrying an egg or not, that's kind of the direction we're going. So we're still kind of redefining it. We're not shrinking any, but we're basically changing the look of our herd. And we're identifying the elite. We've made our own dollar profit index, which we'll be coming out with that at our bull sale. That'll be a new thing we'll be able to talk about then. That's going to be a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And it really works because, of course, we're a meat packer and we know what profit is in our own cattle. So our dollar profit is very accurate. And we're very excited to unveil that. We were going to unveil it at the female sale, but with COVID and everything, we just thought we better wait.
Right.
So that'll be an exciting deal to look forward to for the bull sale.
Good. You just hit on another topic that I want to talk just briefly on the meat side of things again. The COVID. We've got COVID. Everything shuts down. They shut these. They shut the restaurants down or limit those. And I mean, you guys have got some restaurants like STK, Dicka's, Maple and Ash, Michael Jordan's, Joe's, Chicago Chop Shop, St. Elmo's, Jeff Ruby's Manny's. I mean, just very, very high-end restaurants. What happened with the business and the things that happened there at the meat side and also on the cattle side? It would change that as well.
Well, we went from going 100 miles an hour down to 0 in one day.
Uh-huh.
One day. When they closed the country, our meat packing plant was shut. I mean, we were done. I mean, it was a shock. I mean, it was not good. It still isn't good. But Fred never laid a single employee off through the whole deal. Mm-hmm. Not one. Never laid a single employee off. We cut meat. We had to cut, of course, we're a fresh meat company. Mm-hmm. So of course, our freezer was, we had to just keep cutting meat and freezing it. And the hardest part on Fred, I would say, about the whole COVID thing was all these politicians changing their minds in these states. Yep, we're going to open up Friday. Well, then Thursday would come. Nope, we're not opening up for another 3 weeks. As a meat purveyor, you can't prepare their meat and then ship it. I mean, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was very hard on Fred. I mean, the month of May was probably harder on Fred than the month of March, because of the uncertainty, and how much meat would they need. And I mean, we're not running at capacity now, of course. Everyone would know that because we are truly a meat purveyor. We do not sell to grocery stores. We do sell publicly now. Now our public sales have skyrocketed, of course. because everyone wants good meat right now. More than ever, people are wanting quality protein.
Right.
And I got to admit that, and I'm proud of it, how many people come up to me that are buying our meat now on the internet. Just amazes me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the exact percentage, Andy, that we sell now publicly, but it's helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's helped us a lot. It's kept us selling meat because that meat has to be frozen anyway, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's taking care of our frozen meat that we did not want to freeze.
Right.
So it helped. I think when this is over, I think Meats by Linz will be stronger and better than ever,
right.
just because these hardships, they always make you tougher.
Right.
And I really think Fred has tightened up the ship now to where, I mean, I think he's just noticed a lot of things that they could be better, and took our time to, you know, use our time wisely. Why everyone was off, or, you know, why things were slow. You know, had a lot of meetings, a lot of thinking, you know, what we could cut, what we could add. And, I mean, I really think you'll see Meat by Linz better than ever when this world finally comes around.
Right.
And, so the COVID deal has hurt us as bad as any business, you know, obviously, with us selling directly to restaurants. You know, that's the thing. They are, you know, without going political on you, it's been frustrating.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And if they are looking for those, they can find those on eatangus.com. The Linz Heritage.
Yep. Eatangus.com.
Online.
You can buy a wide assortment of our, you know, meats.
Right. Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And that's been very good. The restaurants are up and going now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some states are at 25%, some are at 50%. So,
mm-hmm.
so you know, we're not back to full go, but it sure feels good to be going again.
Right. Right.
You know, I can just tell by the, you know, I see a lot of the employees. A lot of them will come to the ranch just, you know, to be around, and, you know, the mechanics come out and help us with our stuff. You know, they do all the PMs and stuff on our tractors and stuff. And I can just tell everyone's got a little more pep in their step now, that things are actually, you know, starting to move.
Right. Right.
You know, so the whole country, we're going to make her. All of us, Andy, you know that.
Right.
We're just got to keep plugging away, and we're doing the same thing at Meats by Linz.
Right.
Just
Great.
plugging away.
Yeah. And the important part behind those things are some of those genetics that you guys are using, that you guys are getting out there to make this end product. And you guys have a couple bulls that are really making some waves in all aspects of the Angus business. And I wanted to give you just a minute to talk about those, and then we'll get to talking about this sale and these sale cattle.
Yeah. I mean, Andy, our bull, the Linz Exemplify bull, 71124, you know, we sold him in our bull sale, two bull sales ago, or one, well, in 2019. We took on partners, Wall Street Cattle Company and Ancheck Cattle Company out of Wisconsin, Wall Street out of Missouri. They purchased him for $150,000, and that's a lot of money. I mean, they put a lot of belief in him, and the bull's not going to let you down. He's at Origin now. We finally put him in at Origin after we sold semen privately for the first year, and then now he's at Origin. And of course, the COVID hurt us there also, Andy, because we shipped the bull out there to be there for the Midland traffic, which is the kickoff to Origin, and then of course they shut Origin down. So amazingly, Andy, the bull is still picking up steam, and now I'm getting tons of calls that people say he's a top 2 or 3 bull at Origin, which is a big feat for as many bulls that are there. And I'm getting great cattlemen have used him. I mean, his calf crop this coming year will be the true test if he's going to make it or break it. I mean, he's going to have a big year this coming year. We'll be selling cattle in the sale out of him. His counterpart is Pineview Forefront. Now, F200. Now, that's another bull that we purchased to kind of change the look of our herd. He's totally different than our herd. He comes from the Pineview herd out of Iowa. John Wessel, another one of our very good friends. We really love his herd, love what he's doing. Slightly different than us, but that's the way this business is, you know. So we need every breeder. And Forefront's a little different bull for us. He's a high carcass bull, and real high growth also. Just an all-around, great bull. We're gonna do another semen special on both of those bulls. Anybody that buys semen the week of the sale on Exemplify or Forefront will get it for $30 again instead of the traditional $40. And of course, we'll still do rates for discount for bulk also. Mm-hmm. We've got another bull we'll have on display on sale day. He's called Linz American Made, and he is a very special bull. Everyone that comes will see. We thought he was so good, Andy, we never sold him. We have used him exclusively in our herd for the last 2 years, and his calves are phenomenal. We're just getting them born now this fall, and he is really a good bull. We're very excited about him, and we just got the new picture out. We'll be advertising him soon. It's kind of the odd time right now. But he's a real high carcass, but yet he's still high marbling bull. He comes from the vintage black cap cow family, and we're real high on him. You'll get to see him sale day if you come. We've got many other new young sires that we've purchased. We purchased a bull from Hearts, a Heart No Doubt. We purchased a bull from Reverse Rocking R. We're really high on Alternative, the Baldridge Alternative bull. So we bought the Reverse Rocking R Alternative. He's another one of our young sires. Then we've got Linz Paymaster, which is a 1682. Now this is his year to prove himself in our steer program. And from what everyone is telling me, the best calves on their farms are out of him. Mm-hmm. So we're very high on him. We just bought Wilkes Regiment with other breeders and with select sires. So we're very excited about him. We bred him quite heavily in our herd. He's a Ward Cavalry son. And of course, our own bull, Linz Shifting Gears, passed away this year. Like most bulls, he passes away right when his data is coming in heavily. He will be over 1 on marbling probably by the end of next week.
Wow!
His raw data has made him climb over 0.5 on his marbling just in the last 3 months, just from us turning in steer data. Mm-hmm. And so we're really excited about those bulls. We are selling 2 bulls in the sale, or actually choice of one of the 2 bulls. We've got Linz Pandemic 9705. He's the biggest spread bull, non-parent in the Angus breed. He's 0.3 to 176, and he's still has a $270 C even with all that light birth. He's a DL Dooley son. We're sky high on him. He's out of a new cow, which ironically comes right out of the state of Indiana. Mm-hmm. It's D180, Ruth Stewart Select, raised her. Cody Sankey bought her as a cow-calf pair at the side of her mother, and then we bought her as Cody's high-selling cow a couple of years ago, and she's earned her right in our herd now. I mean, she's top cow. She's our top new cow. Mm-hmm. Then the other bull we're selling is Linz Reliance. Of course, both names are named after the pandemic, and what's going on with the year. He's another Dooley son, but he's 0.72 on marbling already, and Dooley is only 0.3. So he's a really high marbling, high dollar beef Dooley son. He's the top Dooley son that way. And they're both physical specimens, as you would get used to, Andy. You're used to seeing them. They're both very physically correct, very athletic. Not show cattle, but right behind them. Mm-hmm. Which would lead me into, Andy, if we go into the book, we've got a few that I would like to talk about if we've got time, Andy.
Sure, you go right ahead. And yeah, I want to tell everybody, those were Lot A and Lot B in the sale. Don't just look over those bulls thinking that they're reference sires like somebody else did when he first opened the catalog. Make sure you look at those. That Lot A and Lot B are those 2 bulls that he just talked about. Yeah.
Yes,
Glen,
and then
go right ahead.
Yep. All right. And, we're starting the sale. Most people have already called me and teased me. This is my first sale out of 14 sales that I did not lead the sale off with a lady. Mm-hmm. So everyone knows that Lot 1 is either very special or I've lost my marbles. And I will promise all of you that Lot 1 is a shoe-in to be a contender in the PGS show at next year's Nationals. Her numbers are elite, and her physical appearance is second to none. I mean, she is a show heifer walking in a performance heifer body. And very, very proud of that heifer. She's from the Emulata cow family. I mean, she's got a $321 C, which tells you that she ranks very high. She's 162 at a year. I mean, she is tailor-made for the PGS show.
Wow.
So we're very high on her. We're selling 3 other sisters out of that same cow. Again, they're all lot 1. So, moving them to the front of the book was very easy, actually. Mm-hmm. We got 2 power play daughters, and then we've got a shifting gears, the highest shifting gears daughter in the country. She's got a $311 C, is also in the lot 1 group. The lot 2 is a very special heifer. She is Exemplify's sister, and she's a dually. So she doesn't have the crazy carcass numbers like Exemplify does, but when you see her, you'll know she's very similar to him. The 2A is a very big time sale attraction. That is a maverick young baby that's born. We just got the genomics back this morning, so the calf will have numbers by the time the sale is. And this heifer here is actually, I saw him foolish saying this, but she's actually more attractive than Exemplify himself.
Wow.
Very attractive. Very special calf. Of course, the lot 3 is the big donor we're selling this year. Her mother sold last year. We're selling a Calvary heifer out of her. Again, I can't say enough about that cow, 4202. She sold to Crazy K and Adesto Pines last year. Mm-hmm. Everyone in the world saw her and marveled at her. This daughter is like a spitting image of her. She is incredible. I mean, she's one of Rampage's best physical specimens that are out there. So we're very high on her. She's been a tremendous donor for us. And we're also selling a Calvary heifer also out of her, which is lot 3A, which the blood is also just came back. So we will have data on that heifer also, which is War Calvary, the big numbered heifer. So we're very excited for the numbers to change on that heifer. Then the next page, lot 4, and I won't talk about all of them, Andy, but these first ones are very good.
When they've got a whole page, they probably mean something, right?
Yeah.
When they've got a whole spread,
if we give them the double, when we give them the double page spread, that means I believe in them for sure, and so does Jeremy. Jeremy Haig, runs our sale again, and then does a tremendous job. He comes up and picks them with me, and believe me, when Jeremy says give her a double spread, that means she's the real deal. And this next heifer actually is she's the highest dollar C of any daughter out of that great cow, out of the Crazy K Adesto Pines cow. This calf here, I will be shocked, Andy, if this calf doesn't go somewhere big time. Mm-hmm. She is a big time heifer, and physically and numerically. So we're very high on her. And Innovation, of course, is probably the favorite bull that Linz has ever used. Many people are onto that bull now just because we have used him so heavily. And just tremendous cattle, from good feet to good physical. I mean, they're just great cattle. So then the next, the lot 6A and 6B, that's the best flush we had this year. On our new dollar profit, their mother is our best cow on our new dollar profit figure, and those 2 heifers won't disappoint anybody. They're out of the AR Signal, and another great all-around bull. Very high on those. Of course, lot 7 is another one. Now this is something you don't get offered every day. This is a full sister to the greatest cows that I ever developed at Riley Brothers. The greatest cows that I've had at Fred's, the 453 cow, which Nowatzki and Maple Lane bought from Indiana. This is the first time we ever sell a full sister to 453. And this girl is a beast. We've had traffic all year. Nobody misses this heifer. She is older, with the Denver and the pedigree and the War Party. Mm-hmm. Her numbers are slightly behind the newfangled stuff. Mm-hmm. But I will promise you, she is a beast. And people will not miss her sale day. Very, very impressive animal. Of course, the 8A and the 8 and the 8A are both half interest. That's what we think of those 2. They're the only 2 daughters we have of that mating out of the great 453. So we're excited to take on some new partners with those 2. They're both very high ranking for their sire. Confidence Plus, the one is the high Confidence Plus dollar C heifer for yearling weight and dollar C combined. The Niagara is number 4 Niagara for dollar C total. So we're very high on them, in the country. Their sister was just reserve division at the first PGS show. So that's where those two came from. Both of those heifers could show in that show also. The Lot 8B will be the first America calf to sell in America. That's a live calf. So many people have seen her, and I will tell you, she is one of the best on the farm. I mean, she is unbelievable animal. I mean, she gets better every day since we've weaned her. She's just amazing. She changes all the time. I mean, we took that picture. She was very young. She does not look like that anymore, Andy. I'll promise you that.
Okay.
The next one is the Lot 8. Well, we're selling the next few. All those 8s are all daughters of 453, all breds. We're selling 3 daughters that are bred. Then the next cow family we go on to is the 3189 family, which would be Lot 11. And that's the best phenotypic claim you'll ever lay your eyes on. She's just like her mother. If you look at the picture of her mother and her, you'd swear it was her mother. I mean, she is just the right size. That has been our high-selling lot every year since we've had our sales. If you paid attention, 3189 has topped every sale. I don't know that this heifer will, but she's going to get a lot of attention. The next heifer, the 11A, which is her half-sister again, now that heifer is special. Totally different outcross genetics, big-time growth, big-time $C out of a Shaw-bred sire. So it's kind of a really unique daughter of 3189. The 3190, which is Lot 14, is another one. That's 3189's sister. Been a tremendous donor, and she's averaging just under 11,000 on her first 9 calves that we've sold. So another very good cow in our herd. The Lot 15 is her best daughter ever. That is the high $C Diamond in the Rough, which Diamond in the Rough, of course, is a very outcross sire. And she's probably the best bred heifer we've ever sold, ever. In our 4 sales, she's the best we've ever sold. She did have a bull calf. She has a bull calf at side now. And that one will not disappoint anybody. That will be a crowd favorite. Then we go to Lot 18 and 18A. Those are joint owned. We own those with Ann Hurtado and her husband Max, which they own Amigos Foods. The big food company, and they're a big, huge CAB company. Anyway, we own them with Ann. All 318 lots are hers. She owns that mother. She bought her for $110,000 in our very first sale. And these 2 heifers, the 2 charms, are like identical twins, as you can see by their pictures. They're the best 2 phenotype animals in the entire offering. And then the next one would be the Tahoe, the Lot 19. Another one, very special animal. Tahoe is another all-around sire that we've been using lately, and they just check all the boxes. And she's his number $1 C daughter at $299. She'll hopefully be over. She's $299 today. She's been climbing fast. She'll be over $300, I'm guessing, by sale day. But she is Tahoe's number 1 daughter, and she will not disappoint anybody. Long as a school bus.
She did. She appears that way.
She is. She's very good. We've got the Lot 24 is a very high $C Southside cow. One of our good. We've never flushed her, but she's definitely capable of being flushed. Very good cow. The Lot 25 is probably the best phenotypic daughter ever out of the Grade 890. When you see her, you'll know what I mean. The picture doesn't even do her justice. This is one beautiful donor. So she will be a crowd favorite. And then, of course, the Lot 26 is one of Black Onyx's best daughters. She's the number 1 yearling weight Black Onyx in the breed. And when you see her, you'll know why. She's another PGS chance at winning. I mean, she could win the whole show next year. Very phenotypic, very good numbers. Kind of just what we've been trying to breed. She didn't disappoint. The next 4, the 28A through 30, are all daughters of 4107. She was our second high-selling cow last year in our sale. Probably our most productive cow. Tremendous flushing cow. That's the only way we can sell so many daughters. All 4 of those are all donor capable. Then the next one, the Lot 31, if you notice, she's the sister to Pandemic, the Lot A bull. So, and she's by Charm. Many people compare her, to being the best phenotypic animal in our sale. Between the 18s and her, that'll be a toss-up. I guess the people will decide that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next animal I'll talk about, which would be the lot 32 and a lot 32A. 32A is another one. That's another PGS standout. I mean, she doesn't have quite the numbers of a couple of the earlier ones, but phenotypically she has really got it. She's probably the biggest middled heifer in the wholesale. Her mother sells a lot 32. She's been a 20-egg producer for us for 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
Just another tremendous. She's a sister to Resource, 4136, all the great Shoff cattle. She is a sister by active duty.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very high on her. Then you go back to lot 39B. That is Shifting Gears, another one of Shifting Gears' best daughter. Just another incredible cow. She is actually the mother of American Made, and our bull that we're so high on now, the Spruce Mountain cow there.
Mm-hmm.
And lot 40 is another one of some interest. Lot 40 is the mother of lot 40 is a sister to Atlas, which is B&B Atlas, which is the bull up at CMEX in Canada. And he's just a true powerhouse. Sits Angus out in Montana own him. And this is another heifer you won't want to miss. She's very powerful, very, very interesting animal. Little different genetics, just all around, one of the, better animals we've raised. And again, this year's sale, Andy, I guess what you'll notice more than anything is there's a lot of differences this year.
Mm-hmm.
The last few years, we've had a lot of the same cow families. This year, we've added a lot more. Next year's sale will be probably 3 times as many as this year. Fred has bought a lot of different genetics over the last year. And of course, he buys them as heifers, so they're all calving right now as falls. And then, some of them will calve as springs. So next year's sale will be even more exciting. Of course, like everybody else, you're an eternal optimist when it comes to selling cattle. Every year is going to be a good year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited, Andy. That's kind of a fast rundown on the book, but anyone has any questions about any of them, I mean, I just went over some highlights that were differences. There's lots of other great cattle in there.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and cattle, great cattle all the way through. Sometimes these catalogs will start off on the front and be really strong and maybe not be quite as strong at the end. And this one, absolutely all the way through, and something that I really enjoy about your program and what you guys are doing. And I've been to every sale. And so I enjoyed that and just the strength of the cattle that they go through there and the strength of the buyers and it's a who's who when you're there. So just so many great guys fly in from all over the nation for this sale and always just a great event. So
well, and I think you'd agree, Andy. The way we set our sale up, because we are such a heavy embryo transfer herd, a lot of people, say, well, I can't come there and buy a good one. Well, you know very well, Andy, you can.
Right. Yes.
They don't
even us
all
cheap
sell
guys.
for a fortune.
Right. Even us.
Yeah.
Right.
Even the cheap guys.
Yeah.
No, it's from top to bottom. We do not put an animal in because it's a poor animal just to get rid of it. That is for sure. You are getting an animal that we would put in our own herd for sure. Mm-hmm. So we're very proud of that. We tried definitely not to put in a cow that you would not be happy with.
Right, and I know from experience that yes, you can afford them, and yes, they turn out when you bring them home, and they do a very, very nice job of that. So just a great event, and again, a good, strong selection of cattle there that always just go and my guess is and knowledge is that you guys want to help other people make money from their cattle and their herds and what they buy from you guys.
Oh yes, I guess, Andy, if I have one trait that people like, I try very hard for them after you make the purchase. I help them in any way that I can, whether it's breeding decisions or where to sell the animal or what the animal's worth is or where to put it. I'll help them if I can, if they put it in a sale and and it's the best animal in the sale, I will help them with our own clients. I mean, I've proven it time and time again, and that's why a lot of people buy from us. Fred's that way too. I mean, he backs his business. You know, we back it. You buy one from us, you call us and say you've got a calf that's an elite calf and it's a $330 C. You can count on. I'm going to be there for you.
Right.
I'm going to help you. In any way I can, because you know, it only helps us. Right. You know, when the word gets around, and it takes time to build a great program, Andy. You know that, and that's, we're trying to do as many things right as we can. And will we do some stuff wrong? Of course, you know, everybody does, but we're really trying to build a program that people can count on.
Right.
And so I'm very fortunate to work where I do, because we have the ability to do that. I mean, Fred, the beauty of us is when you buy a Linz animal, it's backed.
Right.
You've got the Linz backing. And I mean, if there's a problem, we will fix it. You know, we take care of our customers.
Right.
We're very, very proud. Fred does the same thing at his other business, and he wants our business out there to be the same way. So we're very proud of that fact.
Great. Yes. Yeah. And again, we want to invite everybody on Saturday, September 5th, 2020, of course, at 2:00 p.m. Central Daylight Time. But, you know, the fun doesn't start at 2:00 on Saturday. Right, Glen?
No, the fun usually begins Friday night. And we have a meal on Friday night that's second to none. I mean, you know, of course, we're serving, you know, Linz steaks all night long, and you know, we like people to RSVP. So if you're listening to this podcast and you want to come Friday night, you're more than welcome. It really helps us if you RSVP us. Call me, call Fred, call Camille. Get a hold of someone at Linz and let them know how many people are coming, and you're definitely welcome. Anyone's welcome. So if you're listening, but you do need to RSVP, only because we need to bring a certain amount of steaks out, and we don't want to be short. You know what I mean? So it's a steak night, and it's not your ordinary little chop steak. It's a big time Linz steak. It's a great meal. Everyone that comes, it's probably worth the trip to Chicago just for the meal.
Yes. On
Friday night, Andy. I think you would agree. You've been there many times, and that it's like going to the steakhouse yourself.
It is one of those days that Andy just happens to be sick on the second part of the day, and have another appointment that he needs to go take care of, and so he has to take off work so that he can get to Crown Point, so that we can be there for that meal, and it's a great meal, and great things, great activities that you guys have going on there, and the different displays of things to learn about Linz and learn about the meat industry, and man, that is one of the sales that I look forward to every year from the time I leave to go back, and I know with Brandy coming to the sale, that is one of the sales that she says I am definitely going to that one. She enjoys those, but she says she always asks when we're setting calendars up, when's the Linz sale? That's one of her things that she marks off on the calendar so that we can do that. So. Again, the meal on Friday night, and then you guys have stuff available all day on Saturday, cattle available to be viewed Friday night Friday if you're there, and then again Saturday morning to view all of those cattle as well. So.
Yes. And another note, Andy, if anybody does not have a catalog and would like a hard copy, definitely get a hold of me or get a hold of Camille or Fred, and we will get you a catalog immediately. If you still want a hard copy and you don't have one and you happen to be listening to this.
Okay. Yeah, and also you can bid if you can't make it to the sale. Bid, of course, any of the livestock publication representatives that are there, the sale managers, sale consultants. They can be found very easily if you go to the Linz Heritage Angus website. The catalog is right there, and you can look at that. And you can bid on live auctions with Brooklyn Graham. and so you don't even have to be there. But I just want to make sure that we do hit on this, Glenn, with the different times and different things that different times as today is, and we've got a meal and everybody together. What's the plan for those that might be a little bit nervous about this COVID-19?
Well, Fred has already talked to the health department, and we've got all the rules and guidelines. All of our tables will be round 8-place tables with 4 people at them. So we've checked into the rules. We have a tent outside for anyone that doesn't want to go inside. The tent will connect to the building, so you will be able to be out in the air. So anyone that has any health problems or health issues, we've got you taken care of that way. You do not have to be in the crowd. We will have masks. We will have everything that anyone needs. If you forget anything, we'll have sanitizer everywhere. Of course, we've got bathrooms everywhere. Because of the COVID, we have to have restrooms outside. No one will be able to allow to go to the indoor restrooms. That's just one of the rules in our county. Mm-hmm. So Fred is renting the big portable, the ones on wheels. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, we've taken care of it. So you will have nice, clean, very modern restrooms, but they will be outside, so you will not have to worry about COVID. We're trying to make it as good as possible. We're anticipating, a few less people. Our sale traditionally has 300 to 400 people at it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're anticipating to be down to maybe 200. Just a guess, Andy. We don't have any, real idea yet. Mm-hmm. But Fred has talked to the health department. We've handled everything that we can handle so that you will be safe. Mm-hmm. And other than that, if you don't want to wear a mask, that's your choice too. Mm-hmm. If you're outside, but at least respect the people that want to wear one.
Right.
That's pretty much where we'll be. But everything that our health department for our county has asked, Fred has done. So right. It will look a little different. The sale will be different. There won't be the straight tables, and people won't be on top of each other. Mm-hmm. But it's a bit, you've been there. It's a big room. We're just going to be a little more spread out.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Build a
and then people can be in the tent also.
Right. Yes.
So we'll have a ring man out in the tent, and he will be watching for people that do not want to come into the building. Mm-hmm. So great. We're trying to handle as much as we can, and we take advice from anybody. If anybody has any for us, we would definitely do it if it would work better.
Right. Good. Well, Glenn, make sure that you get me RSVP'd for 3, possibly 4. Okay, if you're in charge of that, make sure you RSVP us for that Friday night, because I'm not going to miss it. Unless something major goes on, I'm going to be in Crown Point, Indiana, on Friday night, September the 4th, and then I'm going to be there for the sale on Saturday, September 5th.
Well, thank you very much, Andy. I'll definitely do that right now.
All right, you do that, and we're going to be out of time here for this podcast. And Glenn, as always, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Always a pleasure to work with you in any way that we work together. And I really appreciate you coming back on Before the Bid podcast, and you guys doing another podcast for this sale. And I just want to wish you luck at the sale, and wish you luck with all of the other things that are going on up there. And sure look forward to being up at Crown Point, Indiana on September 4th and 5th.
Thank you, sir. We'll catch you soon.
All right. Well, that sounds great. And we want to thank you for listening to another edition of Before the Bid podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.